Welcome everybody to the Swim Fitness Workout, woohoo, with Tom Miazga, which is part of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games presented by the Hartford. I'd also like to take this moment to thank the incredible sponsors who made this event possible. First, a huge thank you to the Hartford, which is the presenting sponsor of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games. And of course, thanks to our amazing friends, Performax. And now I'd like to hand it off to the incredible Tom Miazga, who is a Paralympic swimmer and the 2018-2019 WheelWOD CrossFit Games Champion, making him the fittest seated man on earth. All right, take it away, Tom.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Anna. How's everybody doing tonight? Give me a thumbs up. We feeling good? Yeah? Great. All right, this is super exciting for me. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. As Anna had already said, I am a former swimmer. I officially retired from the a little bit more about me before we get started. I was born with cerebral palsy, specifically spastic diplegia. So I have a disability that basically is a neurological misfiring where when I tell my body to go and walk, something happens up here and then somewhere down in the spinal cord that says, yeah, we're not going to do that the same way everybody else does. And it kind of freaks out. And so my walking is very swayed to the side. My legs are very stiff and tight all the time. I want you to kind of imagine if you had a Charlie horse in your calf or in your, maybe in your big toe, right? Those ugly toe cramps. That's kind of how my legs respond all the time. They're very tight and they're very tense. And so for me, I've been able to get up and walk around a lot, but it is very demanding. So I use a wheelchair most of the time. I'll probably say about 75 to 80% of my day. Like I'm at home here, I don't usually use my wheelchair. I walk around my house. I'll walk around the pool deck as a full-time coach. And beyond that, you know, I'll try and get in and out as I can as it's possible. So for me, it's been great to be in the water because it's always allowed me to work my lower body in ways that I physically can't in dry land, right? Activate my core, rotate my hips a little bit better. And so it's been huge for me. And honestly, I can tell when I don't swim because I can see that I'm having a little bit more difficulty doing some of those things. So it just tells you how important it is to stay consistent and active all the time to keep your body moving and grooving the way you need it to. Tonight, like I said, is a super cool night for me. It's a super cool night for all of us because a lot of us may not have access to a pool right now. And on Monday, I was so hyped up to team up with some of my former Paralympic teammates, some former coaches, and we broke out into breakout rooms and I got to know some really incredible people and what they're looking for to find in swimming. And I think tonight we can get a little bit more detail into that and help you figure out what you need and what you can do right now, especially given maybe our limitations, you know, with our physical, visual, emotional, mental. I'm actually coaching a high school team for a school district that I actually taught in before this. And so far we've been able to run 3 to 4 people per lane and it's been going pretty well. Add up over the next couple months. So with that being said, I want to leave a lot of time at the end here for you guys to give me some questions. Hopefully we can get some answers out to you. But I also want to show you a lot of great exercises we can do with just body weight or small objects at home, like cans of soup or a backpack or water jugs, or I have some dumbbells we're going to use today. Some simple things like that that can help you stay active. Think about and translate that to the to dry land right now. So I love this. I'm already seeing tons of questions coming in, and this is totally throw them in the chat box. We'll try and scroll through them as we get to later points. Right now, we're going to work out. We're going to get our sweat on, talk about swimming out of the water, and then we'll dive into the good stuff there at the end. All right. So what I have planned for us tonight is a good little routine that's going to give us a upper body exercise, then a core exercise, and then a lower body exercise. We've got 6 total exercises. So I got 2 for the arms, 2 for the core, and 2 for the legs. Should be pretty great. But I'm also going to show you some great ways we can adapt these movements depending on what you have as ability. For me, like I said, I struggle with my lower half, so lots of leg movements are usually out of the question. So there's ways to, activate my shoulders a lot more or activate my core a lot more because that's how I always swim. I can get a little kick while I swim, but for the most part, my kick doesn't really get me anywhere. It just keeps my body nice and level in the water. So today I'm going to help use some of those leg movements that translate more to my core and my abs that help me keep my hips up and keep me ready to go. All right. A couple things. Whenever you're working out, whenever you're getting ready to work out, you always want to warm up. All right. always important to stay hydrated, always important to stay stretching and stay loose. So simple things like some arm circles, some simple leg swings, maybe some flutter kicks, or even just some simple stretches. I think that's probably the best way for us to start, is to warm up a little bit, just 3 to 5 minutes, make sure our body's loose and limber. All right. When we do get back to the pool, it's always important to stretch well before you work out. All right. Practice maybe 20 to 15 minutes early, so you can sit down, have some time to maybe socialize a little bit with or without a mask. If you got one, that'd be great. But just stretching a little bit and making sure our body's ready to roll. So I'm sitting in the chair right now. I'm going to back up a little bit. All right, just so you can see me a little bit better here. All right, first thing, always a great way to start, since swimming is so much arm dominated. Let's get some arm circles going. All right, we're going to go forward and we're going to start really small here, just small little circles. And as you feel comfortable, getting them going a little bit bigger. All right, there you go, nice and big. And what you can then do is take it to one arm at a time. So maybe right arm only for 5 times, 4, 5, and then left arm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Bring it back together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then make them small again. Bring them down into small little ones. Good. Woo! Shake that out. Same thing, but this time we're going to go backwards. I was a back shoker, so I like this one a little bit better. All right, so small, but going backwards this time. Push your arms behind you. There you go. 3, 4, 5. And then let's go big. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then one arm at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. Other arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And some little ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo, there you go. That's a good one. If you swam for a long time like me, my shoulders like to crack during that one. So it's always good for me to get those cobwebs out right before I swim. I know, Karen, my arms are falling off already too. I'm already sweating and I'm in an air-conditioned house right now. Uh-oh. Awesome. So again, another good little exercise, and to work, we do a lot of swimming with our triceps, these muscles in the back of our arms, and our lats back here. So a great stretch to help get those ready is to take one arm and drive it back behind our head so our elbow's kind of peeking out the side. Our other arm is going to grab that elbow, and I want you to pull it back, okay? Instead of pulling it way over like this, I want you to pull it back for me. That's going to activate that lat muscle a little bit, and that can feel a really good stretch right along the side here. So let's hang on to that for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I know, my muscles are tight too, absolutely. Let's grab that other arm, elbow back, pull that elbow back with the other arm, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Awesome. All right, so as I want to make sure we can get some good workout in, get some sweat on, and leave some time for questions, I'm going to show you our 6 movements we're going to do today. All right, so our first one is really going to be an upper body dominated and thinking about the reach of our freestyle stroke, okay? We're going to do an overhead press. So today I've got some light dumbbells, and you don't need a heavy weight for this one, okay? I just grabbed some 10-pounders here. And all we're going to do is either seated in your chair or on a bench, or you can stand if you can stand for this one. That'll activate your core a little bit more. We're just going to take those dumbbells or those soup cans or that water jug, whatever you've got, and we're going to press it straight overhead just like this, okay? 10, just like this. And again, that's going to help activate the shoulders. It's going to get those shoulders nice and warmed up, and it's also going to help you extend your reach, right? When we swim our freestyle or that front crawl, we want to be able to reach nice and long, and having strong shoulders makes that a lot easier to do. All right. So that's going to be our first movement. Take whatever weight you've got. If you only have one weight today, that's okay. Hang on to both hands with it, right? And you can push right underneath your collarbone here and push straight up overhead. Okay. Works very much the same way. And actually, that gets you a little bit closer to streamline position. So swimmers like that a lot. All right. The second movement is going to be an ab workout. All right. Now this one, if you can get to the floor, it's going to be a lot easier to do there. So I'm going to hop out of this chair, plop myself to the floor. If you can transition out of your wheelchair or wherever you are, let me show you what's going on. I should probably move down my screen so you can actually see what's going There we go. All right, guys. So with this one, I call this one a reacher. What we're going to do is we're going to take that same weight we've been using before, and now what we're going to do is we're going to hold it up over our shoulders just like this, and we're just going to reach our shoulder blades up off the ground. When I do this one, it forces me to really squeeze my abs nice and tight, and it helps me keep my core stable while I would be in swimming position as well. Okay? So again, we're just going to go here. We're going to raise it up and come back down. Just my shoulder blades are coming off the ground, not much else. Okay? Now, if you have some lower hip function here, you have lower leg function, I want you to give me some hip bridges on this one. All right? Pushing those hips up, keeping those hips in line are a great way to activate the core as well. I can do a couple of them. They're not super great. I probably should have some shoes on, but whoop, see, my socks are too slippery on this floor. All right? But again, just driving those hips up nice and high. Again, squeezing that core as tight as we can. Our third movement, if you've got it in you, is going to be some leg lifts. So I'm going to scoop back a little bit more for you here. All right, and we're going to point our toes, keep our legs together, and just raise our legs as high up into the air as we can. Again, squeezing through the butt, squeezing through the core, everything we need to keep stable while we swim. All right, this motion also helps us with our butterfly and that underwater kick. So those are our first three movements. And what we're going to do is we're going to go for 30 seconds at each one. All right. So here we're going to go. We're going to go 30 seconds on, and then we're going to rest for 30 seconds. And then we'll do the next one. Then we'll rest for 30 again, and we'll do the last one. And we're going to go 2 times through that. After that, I'm going to give you a whole new set of movements that we're going to try again. All right. Sound good? So we're going to start with that overhead press in the first one, and we're going to go for 30 seconds at a time. So if you've got a weight or an odd object or anything you can lift over your head, now's a good time to grab it. All right. Whew. All right, you guys. So I've got my phone set up here on a stopwatch mode. We're going to go 30 seconds on, and then we're going to rest for 30 seconds. You ready? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah? Yeah? All right. Awesome. Here we go, guys. In 3, 2, ready, overhead press. Here we go. Let's get it. Let's get it. There you go. I feel bad. I should be playing some music for you guys or something. You definitely don't want me to sing. I'll tell you that much. Good job. Here we go. I love what I'm seeing, you guys. Really great. Think about that extension. We've only got 10 more seconds left. You can do it. There you go. I love seeing water bottles. I'm seeing some weights. I'm seeing some coffee mugs. This is awesome. 3, 2, 1, and rest. There you go. Woo! Good job. Good job. All right. If you can make your way to the floor, we're going to do that reacher next, or you're going to do that hip bridge. All right. If we don't have the ability to get out of our chair here, right, I want you to do a Russian twist. It's one I've been showing a lot over the last couple of weeks, but again, it's a super good movement to help keep that core nice and tight. All right. So alternating, rolling to side to side. I'm going to head to the ground for my reachers. Here we go, friends. We're going in 5, 4, 3, 2, ready, let's go. Here we go. Reach up nice and high. Feel that squeeze through the core. Good job, guys. Looking good. Keep it up. Here we go. Come on. We only got 5 more seconds. You can do it. Get 3 more in there. Get 3 more in there. 2, 1, and rest. Awesome. Good job. Good job. All right. Last movement's going to be that leg lift here. Okay. We're going for those leg lifts. If we don't have the ability to do leg lifts today, you can do a straight arm raise with your arms, holding that weight again. You could always do flutter kicks if you have that extra ability, right, where you can move those legs really nice and quick. Or on top of that, you can just hold the plank. It's a great way to keep the core tight the same way that we would do on a leg lift. All right. Here we go, guys. In 3, 2, ready, leg lifts. Let's go. Let's go. Keeping your hands right by your hips will keep you nice and tight. If you want extra challenge, you can spread those those hands way out to your side. It's going to really use your core there. Whew, this one's getting me sweaty. I can already feel it. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Okay, I'm already tired. This is not good. We've literally worked out for 90 seconds. That's a problem. Awesome. So guys, we're going to go back to those overhead presses again. Grab those weights. Here we go. We got about 15 seconds till we go again. Let's make sure you can see me a little bit better. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, ready, let's go. Overhead presses again. There you go. Good job. Nice. I got the whole family working out in there. I love it. You guys are doing great. Exhale as you press up. It's a good way to work on your freestyle breathing technique. Come on, here we go. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and rest. 1 more for good measure. Nice job. Awesome. Back to the ground we go here. Tilt this down again. You guys are doing an awesome job. Thanks for staying with me. Your abs and your shoulders and your legs are going to be super ready for the pool when we get back. All right, here we go in 10 seconds. Again, feeling that good squeeze right in those upper abs here. In 3, 2, ready, let's go. Nice job, nice job. Feel that squeeze. You can even hold it there for a second if you can, right? You can always do this without a weight too. That works just the same, right? Just working on raising those shoulder blades up off the ground. Good job. 5 more seconds. Come on, come on. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew, I'm gonna take a nap after this one. I can tell. Going right to bed. All right, guys. Good job. 1 more to go. It's those leg lifts again. Let me scoot back so you can see my feet. All right. And this one does really get my legs going. I can feel it in my hamstrings back here. They're squeezing really tight when I'm trying to raise my legs up, okay? Try and feel that through your legs as well. Here we go. In 3, 2, ready, let's go. There it is. There it is, you guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're going to get a nice long break. Halfway, halfway. Come on. Keep it going. See if you can control your legs down the way down so they don't hit the ground, right? We don't want to set down. We want to keep them right off the edge of the ground. Come on, come on. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo! Awesome. Super, super, guys. You did a great job there. All right, make sure you're hydrating, take a drink. Let's talk it out for a second. That was 3 awesome movements that are gonna help work your whole upper body, your mid-core, and your lower body to get you ready for the pool when we get back, all right? So, I gotta catch my breath. You guys are wearing me out already. All right, so let's learn 3 more, all right? 1 more upper body, 1 more core, 1 more lower body. Here we go. First one, we're gonna take those dumbbells again, and we're going to do, like I talked about earlier, a good way to modify or adapt that overhead press is to do a front raise, okay? A pulling motion is a huge, huge, great factor when you're swimming, right? We often want to push through, right, and make sure we can finish to the end of our stroke, but then being able to come around and then pull through the top of that stroke is equally as important, okay? So we're going to take one of those dumbbells. You could actually take both if you want to. Okay, and we're going to alternate between a side raise and then a front raise with 1 arm at a time. Okay, what's the proper weight for a 12-year-old girl? That's a great question, Bruno. I would do something extremely light, nothing more than 3 to 5 pounds, right? We don't want her shoulder to be feeling in any pain or any super soreness here. It's just more about rehab and actually prehab, making sure we build strong shoulders. So we're not trying to build as much muscle as we are just trying to gain mobility and flexibility in those shoulders here, okay? So, again, I'm only using a 10-pound weight. I won't lie. When I'm doing my CrossFit stuff, I'm using stuff up in the 40s and 50-pound stuff. So, again, this is pretty light for me, not going to lie. So this is just something, again, that's going to help keep my shoulders strong and stable while I'm working out and swimming. So, again, we're going to go to the side and then 1 forward. And then both to the side and the other 1 forward, okay? We're gonna alternate just like that for those 30 seconds. Sound good? Cool. Then, like I talked about, we're going to hold a plank. All right, when we hold a plank, it's going to help us get in our awesome swimming position in the water, where our hips and our shoulders stay in one smooth line, just like this. So, if you can, we're going to go up on our toes. You can hold it up at the top of a push-up, just like this here, right? If you need to go down to your elbows, that's going to give you a little bit more challenge. Again, keeping those hips in line with the shoulders. And if you need to make some modifications, spreading your feet super wide is going to give you a little bit more stability. The closer your feet are, the more challenging the plank is. If you need to go down to your knees, that's totally fine. You can squeeze your abs and think about pushing your hips up the exact same way. I honestly find this a little bit harder, okay? So squeezing those hips up into the air, activating that core underneath you, okay? Now, a really super way to adapt this movement for somebody that maybe doesn't have the ability to use their legs is to grab a simple towel or a stretch band, okay? I don't know about you guys, but the Hartford sent me this awesome strap in my athlete bag. It was super cool. And this one, what we can actually do is take this strap, and while we plank, you can just pull it apart and hold it, right? You're gonna get this big squeeze to your upper back, feeling your shoulder blades squeeze together. And if you can hold that for 30 seconds, man, you got some serious chops. That's pretty impressive, all right? Even just for 5 seconds there, I could feel that good tight squeeze and really helping my upper back engage, which we really need if we don't have much lower hip function when we swim, okay? So we're holding the plank. You can use a simple towel too. The towel obviously isn't gonna bend very far, right? But feeling that static hold and that squeeze as best as you can is gonna give you the same result if you're somebody that struggles to use your lower half, all right? And then the last one, a great modification here is squats, okay? When we swim, we often use a lot of our lower body. We need it to dive off the block. We need it to do our flip turns or pushing off the wall, right? And squats are a great way, excuse me, to mimic the same idea of pushing off the wall or pushing off a block. So if you're feeling good and you can get up on those feet and you can squat, absolutely, let's do it. Let's do some air squats. Make sure your feet are about shoulder width apart and you're bringing your butt right down underneath you with your chest nice and high the whole time. If you're feeling really advanced, you can do some jump squats. So on your way, as you come back up off the ground, literally exploding off the ground, jumping off the ground, and getting that extra explosion that we get maybe if we were doing a start off the block. For me, squats, not my favorite exercise, right? Probably I need to work on them here and there, but if I'm doing a long workout like this, I probably don't want to do a lot of them. So what I'm going to do is use my chair, and I'm actually going to mimic this movement by using a dip, okay? So I'm going to hold on to the side of my chair here, and I'm going to push my feet out as best as I can. The further straight out my legs are, the more challenging the dip is because I'm using more of my upper body. The closer my feet are to the chair, the more support I have underneath me, and so it's a little bit easier for my arms, okay? And all we're going to do is dip on our chair. So I'm going to scoop my butt off the edge. I'm going to let my elbows drop down and push straight up, all right? As somebody that uses a wheelchair all the time, right, this is a very good motion for me to work on because it's very similar to pushing in the rims, right? And again, that's how I get around most of my day. So yeah, not only do I make this movement harder for myself, but it also, again, just keeps me active and keeps me going and keeping my shoulders healthy, all right? So we're gonna take our dumbbells. We got those side raises and those front raises, and then we're gonna go into our plank, and then we're gonna do our squats, jump squats, or our dips, all right? One more time, we're gonna go 30 on, 30 off. Does anybody have any super big questions about the workout before we get started? I think I'm on spotlight right now, so I apologize if I don't see your hand, but let me scroll through really quick. Maybe my medical staff can help me make sure we don't miss anything. We all good? All right, guys, you are awesome. Thanks for bearing with me. And again, we're gonna get into some awesome conversations here after this about how we can help you specifically, okay? So let's go ahead, let's grab those dumbbells one more time. Time for those side raises and those front raises, okay? Here we go, we're gonna start in 3, 2, ready, let's go. To the side, and then we're 1 forward. To the side, other arm forward, good, there you go. Side, 1 forward, good job, good job. And I like that I'm sitting on the edge of my seat here where I'm forced to keep my back nice and straight, nice and tall, makes my core work a little bit more. We really need that core when we swim. Come on now, we got 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome job. All right, time for the plank. We're planking it. All right, I'm gonna scoot down to the floor for this one. Again, if you got a towel nearby or a stretch band, a great way again to hold it is pull those hands apart, squeeze those shoulders behind you. We're going in 10 seconds. All right, make sure you're breathing through this one too, okay? Push your hips up, keep your shoulders nice and straight together. In 3, 2, ready, let's go. Woo. It's pretty easy to get alone with your thoughts in this one. This one can make your abs really sing. Good job, we're already 10 seconds in though. Doing super. Keep everything in a nice straight line here. Keep your hips right in line with those shoulders. Imagine there's a glass of water on your back and we don't want to spill it. Keep everything in line so it doesn't fall off. 5 more seconds, we're already almost there. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Whew. Nice, nice. All right, I'm gonna grab my chair for my dips. If you got the ability to do some squats or some jump squats, now is that time. Good job, you guys. Got 15 seconds here, okay? All right, in 5, in 3, 2, ready, dips or squats. Here we go. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Nice job. Nice job. Think about those flip turns. Think about those starts off the block. You can do it. Come on now. Good job. Good job. Halfway home already. Halfway home. Whew, I'm getting my sweat on for sure. I see lots of good dips there. Nice job. Get nice and deep with those dips. Good job. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Woo! Here you go. Who's feeling that sweat right now? I am. I know Jen is. Standing herself over there. Becky is. I love it. Awesome, you guys. All right. Back to our first movement. We're back to those dumbbells. We're doing our side and front raises, okay? We got 10 seconds. Hopefully your shoulders and your core feel really nice and strong after this, right? Here we go. 3, 2, ready, let's go. Side, forward. Side, forward. Come on, come on. Good job, you guys. I like what I'm seeing. Good work, good work. Again, make sure you're using a weight here that's not demanding on your shoulders. That only helps you just activate and squeeze nice and tight. We got 5 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Awesome. All right, back to that plank again. I'm gonna try it on my knees this time. I actually found that pretty hard. I had to really use my hips there and actually push them up, so that's good. I need to work on that for sure. We got about 10 seconds here, guys. Scoot that out of the way. I hope I can get off this ground when I'm done. I don't know if I can. You guys are wearing me out. Here we go. In 3, 2, ready, let's go. There you go. Good job. I definitely like this. This is a great way to modify a plank. I can really feel my glutes or my butt muscles. They're squeezing hard. They're working hard. Good job. Keep it up. We're 15 in. That means 15 to go. Stay strong. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. Imagine like you're finishing that race. You don't want to let up. You got to get your hand on the wall first. Come on. 3, 2, 1, rest. Whew. All right. Awesome. Last one. One more set of jump squats or dips. We can do it. Here we go, guys. Done a great job so far. Can't wait to answer all your questions and help you out. I got some great things I want to show you with that stretch band as well. All right, here we go. Last set in 3, 2, ready, let's go. Come on now. Dips or squats, here we go. Love it. Our medical team is crushing this right now. Good job. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on, halfway. We're almost there. We're almost there. Finish that race. Finish that race. Oh, good idea there, you guys. Angela, you're doing super good. Good job, Gracie. Come on, we're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Oh, I'm done. I'm roasting. Do I still have a pulse? I don't know. Help me out. Guys, great job. That was so awesome. All right. There's six movements right there alone that are going to be great to help you activate your body the exact same way we would while we're swimming. All right. Those were fantastic exercises, and you guys did them way better than I could ever do it. So props to you. All right. And again, you can always make these always more challenging, right? You can do them maybe again from a seated position where you ask yourself to balance a little bit more with those overhead presses. Or maybe you can add a little bit more weight to that overhead press, right? Make it a tougher push, get your shoulders a little bit stronger. Okay, those reaches, maybe you can pull a tighter band or maybe pull a tighter towel, something like that, or on those planks there. All right, there's a lot of ways to modify these. So one thing that I think is really beneficial, and actually you might see a lot of swimmers do this when you have an injury, okay? I'm gonna put, here we go. Oops, sorry, a little glitchy there. All right, so anyway, having a band like this is way more beneficial than you might realize, because you can actually mimic swimming movements the exact same way. Daniel's got his, look at that. Love it. All right, so what you can do is you can actually take this band and you could tie it to a door frame, right? You could tie it to a post. And what you can do is if you give yourself 2 edges, you can actually mimic the same pull of swimming with that band and resistance, right? So if I were to tie this, it would be tied up top and then I'd have 2 straps hanging here, right? If you were to then bend over and grab onto that band, you'd be able to, again, work on pulling down and through as if you're swimming freestyle with both hands, okay? And you'd be able to work on alternating that pull just like you're swimming freestyle, okay? There's actually a lot of swimming training machines that work that same way. If you're a butterflyer, you can pull both hands together. You can actually do it backwards too, like you're working on backstroke, and think about just pulling backwards with a reverse grip, so turning your hand upside down, all right? If you have a stretch cord that has handles, that works even better. That's a great way to focus on ice, on those lats and pulling ice. So look at that. Okay, that is fantastic. Exactly what I'm talking about. And what you can do here is you can make sure you pull those hands just like you're swimming, okay? Yes, if you didn't get your band, make sure you register at the Hartford or with our Angel Cities so you can get that Hartford band. Super good. I love it. You are doing an awesome job. All right. Now, another great thing you can do as well is a good rowing pull. All right. So if you were to tie your band around a pole, you can work on pulling those arms straight back. And kind of like that towel pull we did earlier, that's going to help squeeze those big lat muscles in the back here, which are the big muscles that help us swim. And again, from a standing or a seated position, this is a great way to mimic swimming without being in the water. Again, somebody that has a shoulder injury or somebody that's trying to recover from a broken foot or an ankle, right? They can do this outside of the water and still get that same swimming feeling without actually getting wet. All right. I love that we're jumping around and seeing all these different cameras and all these different guys that are working out. You guys are so awesome. All right. So we've only got about 10 to 15 minutes left here. And I want to take us some time to answer any questions you guys might have about swimming in general, swimming when you don't have a pool. I want to open the floor to you guys, and I want to be as best a mentor as I can to help you out. So if you've got a question, let me get closer to my camera here and pull up our chat box a little bit. Still sweating like crazy. You guys got me good. All right. Don't be afraid to fire away now if you've got questions. Let me see what we got. Don't be afraid to chime in either. Go ahead, unmute yourself if you have any questions. I want to talk to you. I want to make sure you know what you're doing. Oh, let's see. Do you have videos of your own workouts on YouTube? Becky, that's a great question. Swimming-wise, not really. Can I make some? Totally. But I do have some from my CrossFit life where I actually had to videotape myself working out for competitions. So if you go and actually check that out, you can Google my name in YouTube and you'll actually see a whole bunch of videos of me working out in the gym. And there's a lot of the same movements that we've actually done today in those workouts as well. So check those out. Maybe they can give you some good ideas on how to adapt some movements, especially if you have access to more equipment. Good question, Becky. Don't be afraid to talk. I love talking. We can do this. Oh, hi, Jen.
Hi, can you tell us a little bit about the sculling technique and how your fingers should be in the water?
Love it. That's a great question. So what Jen is talking about is that when we actually swim, there's a certain way we want to hold our hands so that we get as much water to come with us and pull us through. It's kind of interesting. Think about swimming like rock climbing, all right? When you rock climb, you're not pulling your hand down to your body, you're pulling your body up to your hand, right? And when we swim, it's actually the same way. We're not moving our hand through the water, we're actually pulling our body up to our hand. So it's so right. It's absolutely, it's a different way to think about that, right? Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that our hands are kind of cupped like spoons. Oh, perfect. Thank you. All right. I couldn't get myself on spotlight. So I always tell my little guys when we're swimming, we want spoons, not forks. All right. If we have forks, we're going to see that water go right through our fingers and we're not going to pull very far. So what we want to do is make our fingers come together. And then as you can see my hands, kind of curve them like a banana. All right. Nothing super crazy. Right. And this might feel weird for a little bit, but I can tell you after 15 years of swimming, I don't feel this at all. All right. It feels pretty normal. And so when we pull through the water, then I'm very close. Okay. We have that fingertips kind of angled down a little bit here. Right. And as we pull through, we're thinking about pulling from the elbow down. I'm not moving my whole arm back. Right. I'm pulling with my elbow down like I'm doing the robot. Right. Okay. Pulling straight through here. And when I get to this point, that's when I'm going to push my elbow back and finish through that stroke. But if you have your fingers open, I'll tell you this, try with one finger open and one finger closed, even do it in the bathtub. And you'll probably feel a big difference where this hand goes a lot smoother through the water than this one does. All right, great question, Jen. Becky, how often do you recommend doing these types of workouts? That's a great question. And it's going to be dependent on your fitness level and where you are right now. A lot of us took some big time off and we got more friends with Netflix than our weight set at home for a while, right? So some of us might not be in the best of shape. So maybe starting out with a smaller, maybe once or twice a week is a good place to start. But if you're in a point where you feel like you can work out, you can get your heart rate up, you can get really intense with what you're doing. Sorry, I'm a little in the dark there. If you feel like you can get your heart rate up pretty well and do it consistently, I would say doing this stuff like 3 to 4 times is a great place to be. I personally work out 3 days in a row. I'll take a day off or I'll do an active recovery kind of workout where it's not very hard, but I keep my body moving. And then I'll work hard for 2 more days and then I'll take a totally day off, laying on the couch, doing nothing. And it lucks out for me. That's usually Sunday. So it's a pretty easy day to do it. That's a great question. I'm seeing a couple more pop up in here. This is awesome. What is your advice for staying mentally strong if you haven't been able to swim? Holy cow. This is a fantastic question. Now, I'm not going to lie. I am somebody that pushes myself very hard. I've always had very high expectations for myself, and I've always wanted to succeed as best as I could, take advantage of every opportunity, as best as I possibly could. And honestly, it was hard for me to always be that way, especially when I was even in the water. Maybe I didn't go fast enough time in practice or things like that. And what I've found over the years is that it's not about what you're doing in the moment, but how well you're doing it. Are you giving yourself 100% effort, right? So even if we're on a slow day like this and we can't be in the pool, can you find a way to maybe take these exercises and give 100% to those exercises? Well, if you gave 100%, you gave everything you've got. And that's the best thing we can ask for, right? It doesn't matter how fast you did it. If you did it as best you possibly could, that was the best chance to getting stronger, to getting better, to getting faster, right? So you can't worry about what other people are doing around you. And I know it's so easy, especially in a sport like swimming where everything's driven by a time and who goes faster than the next person. But think about your own personal growth, right? Did you do what you needed to do today to make yourself better? Maybe it was sleeping more. Maybe it was eating more. It might not even be exercise related, right? But if you're taking care of yourself in the ways that you know that will benefit you when we can get back in the pool, that's what's going to make the difference. And just finding ways to make that easy every single day. Don't make it hard. Don't make it challenging. Like, okay, I'm going to do 10 push-ups today, and then tomorrow I'm going to run a marathon. Like, no, come on, slow down, right? We're not going to do that. Make small increments and positive steps that you feel like you can accomplish every day, and always add one more every day. And you'll be surprised at how quickly you get really strong, both mentally and physically with that. It's a great question. Francisco posted, what's your favorite exercise, not just for strength, but for working on your resistance on your stroke, especially freestyle? Whoa, that's loaded, and I love that question. All right. Favorite exercise, not just for strength, but working on resistance. Here's what I like to do. I like to do what I call static hold movements. Okay. So if I were able to do pull-ups or something along that nature, I would either slow my pull-ups down super slow, or I would hold it at the top. I actually did a workout like this yesterday. I did a set of 6 pull-ups where every time I pulled up, I held the top of the pull-up for 3 seconds. And that extra hold and that extra intensity that came behind it and the extra kind of literally swelling of my muscles in that moment really brought some resistance. And it really mimics the idea of like when you're in the third 50 of a 200 freestyle and your arms want to give out and you want to just like stop, right? That's where that resistance and that tension against that effort is going to really help you be strong and positive through those times. So again, holding exercises, 200s are totally the hardest. They're a full-fledged sprint, but they're super long sprints. But holding that resistance kind of style movement is really great. So how we did those reachers today, right? Instead of just going up and down really fast, at the top of your rep, right? When you reach up, hold it. Hold it for 2-3 seconds, as long as you can, right? That's a great way just to help hold that muscle in its place, in its flexion, where it's getting the most it can out of its movement. It's a great question, Francisco. Let's see, let me scroll up. I saw one that I missed, I believe. Maybe I didn't. But I do want to say something really quick because I think it's really important now. When I first started swimming, I did not know of any adaptive sports agencies or organizations or anyone around me. I was really trying to just make do by doing what all my able-bodied friends could do. And it was playing soccer, and it was playing basketball and playing football. And to be honest, after a while, I just got to a point where I just couldn't do it, right? I couldn't keep up, and I couldn't find a way to stay active the way that was best for me. And swimming was that huge, huge opening for me where I found that passion and that ability to be myself and push myself really hard. But even more than that, it opened the door to Paralympic swimming for me, right? And I think now is that as a Paralympic swimmer, I have been able to see so many more clubs in the USA Swimming Organization open up and be welcoming to Paralympic athletes and adaptive athletes and make their club opening and welcoming to them. I actually work on the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and I actually work with our national team swimming athletes for this entire now 5 years as we get ready for Tokyo. And honestly, some of my athletes have had troubles finding clubs growing up because they didn't know how to handle, those coaches didn't know how to handle adaptive athletes or how to work with them. And we've done a great job to build education and have opportunities like this to show you what we can do and be functionally fit to get you ready for the pool no matter what. So I just want to say this, start by looking around your area, right? Ask and don't be afraid to communicate what you need to people that maybe don't know how to handle your situation just yet. Because you might be surprised that you build a great relationship with somebody and then they're willing to work with you and make things what you accustomed to what you need. All right. And yes, Jen is totally right. These masters programs is now training coaches and officials how to work with para athletes, which is great. Masters athletes are those for 18 and over, but they also have a lot of good things for younger kids as well. We are doing a lot of U.S. Paralympic adaptive swim clinics where you can just come in and try out. We tell you a little bit more about Paralympic swimming. You can meet some cool athletes. You get to see a lot of parents and volunteers come in and help out. They're a really great time. All right, Elizabeth, you have a verbal question.
Verbal question. Hi, I have two. One is a swim-related one. I was curious about when you just do laps in the pool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How do you do your breathing? Do you have a particular rhythm that you like to do, like, per stroke, or how many strokes per breath?
That's a great question. So for me personally, I saw somebody earlier posted that their favorite event's the 400. That was actually an event that I swam in the 2008 Beijing Games. Francisco did. Nice. Dude, that's awesome. But when I breathe in like maybe a longer race like that, I tend to try and breathe every 3 strokes, and I breathe to both sides. Something like that helps even up my body. It doesn't overload one side of my body where my right side maybe is pulling harder than my left side, and it's not being overused. Because oftentimes if you breathe to one side, you find that one side of your body works harder than the other. So I like to space it out by breathing every 3 strokes. It's a really great way to make sure you're staying fluid and using both sides of your body well.
Every 3 strokes, alternate side.
Yep.
Okay.
You're going to end up breathing in both ways. And I would say this too, when I actually exhale, right, I actually start that I'm trying to think about that. When I actually start my exhale, I'm actually exhaling as I finish my inhale, right? So by the time I've turned my head to the side and taken my breath in, as I'm already putting my face in, I'm already beginning that exhale. That's because I know I'm somebody that needs to exhale longer than I need to inhale. And I'll often find a lot of times that when swimmers are starting out, they're trying to swim and they go so hard and so fast that they don't have enough time to let their breath out because they're working so hard. It's like running, you know, when you're running for a very long time for the first time, your breath gets short and choppy and you don't feel like you can get control. And that's the same thing that happens in swimming. So making sure that you're exhaling enough. And I try and cheat that a little bit by breathing a little bit out right as my head starts to go back in the water. And that's been something that's been great for me.
You know, that's the natural way for me too.
Good. Glad to hear it.
To not have a pause to hold, but there's always this motion in or out.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my other one, can I squeeze one else in? Because I was having a problem with the abdominal exercises. My injury, one of the worst parts of my injury was my neck, and so so as soon as I do those, which I absolutely love exercising the abdominals, but each exercise there, even though I wasn't having an issue with the abs, my neck, I couldn't do them because instantly I just felt incredible strain. You know what I'm talking about? Do you have any?
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. You know what I could say to that is you could probably even try and modify that. Maybe putting a pillow underneath your neck to give it a little extra support. And then what you can do with that reacher movement that we did is you could actually just focus on pressing your shoulder blades up, but then actually pushing your core and your diaphragm out as you do that. So instead of making it happen because you kind of need your neck to come with your upper body for that to activate, you're going to have to manually do that on your own. Whereas you squeeze those shoulder blades or widen those shoulder blades, right? Squeezing your abs out is going to get that same effect. So you're going to have to work a little bit harder for that one than you might maybe say me, who has, no pain in my neck right now. So that would just be a good way to help. I think the pill will help kind of comfort you and help take some support off your neck where you can kind of relax more. But again, actually thinking about manually squeezing your abs and really activating that on your own rather than the movement doing it will help you kind of compensate in the same way.
So when you're coming out of like a very long term, like injury, not using your neck, and I was in a neck brace for actually about 8.5 years. So,
sure.
But I mean, is it a matter of, it just seems to be like the connection, like how it's connected to the body, that the moment I try to lift, and it's the kind of pain that says, stop. Not a pain that says, okay, let me quit.
It's shooting and firing pain, right? Sure.
But is that a matter of just ending up strengthening that, or does it just after a while just gets better?
That's a really good question. And I honestly, Elizabeth, don't want to be the one to try and answer that because I'm about as good as analyzing something on WebMD right now. No, it's a good question that maybe things are overly tight and it could be that you're pinching and having some sort of impingement in there. But again, I'm not the doctor here. That would be something I would definitely
really a doctor thing because there's not a real damage like that. It's just more of a getting back to movement after a long time.
Yeah. And I bet, working with somebody in our medical staff here is going to have a better answer for you. I know we have some PTs on staff that maybe help with some of that coordination. Yep. And I know Jen's already got a few. Look at that. She's all over this. She's got it. She can help you out.
Oh, thanks, Jen.
All right. I want to jump back. I know that Ruth Anna had a question. How do you work your back muscles more? Really good question here. So, Jen, Ruth Anna, I know that we talked about this a little bit on Monday. I think you were in my group, that lat pull down idea where we're pulling muscles down here, right? So any pulling motion is going to be really good to activate those shoulder blades, to feel them squeeze together and really work those upper back. Things like pull-ups and doing body weight rows and pulling underneath yourself is a really good way. So any sort of pulling motion is the best way to get your back set up there. And again, like we were talking about with Francisco and the idea of holding on to things and having resistance there, or maybe letting yourself down slowly from a pull-up. Doing those dips are a great way to get those triceps again and get that back to fire and squeeze at the same time. Those are just a good few examples, but trying to think about what else I can think on the spot here. You guys are good. You're drilling me here. I like this. Put me in my place. This is good. No, but I think that's a great place to start with, Anna. And then again, doing any sort of shoulder mobility and flexibility work is going to be great too, because it does open up you to access muscles a little bit easier. And so when you do movements like pull-ups and push-ups and dips or rows, right, you're going to get that whole muscle feeling instead of just using the little parts that maybe aren't as tired. Good questions. You guys are awesome. I love this so much. All right, I'm just kind of scrolling through. I think we're doing pretty good on questions. We only have a couple minutes left here, it looks like. So any last minute questions, I am happy to help. If not, join me again on Saturday. Whoa, Saturday, right? If you were joined our program on Monday where we talked about swim training, right? We're going to come back together on Saturday, all of us coaches in a large group, and we're going to have plenty of time to talk about those exercises we talked about and ways to help you with your swimming. Angel Cities, oh, Anna's asking a great question. What is one quote you live by? Oh, that is a fantastic question. I have a couple, and one that I like to think about that's very easy for me to remember is kind of what I've been using as my slogan or my Instagram hashtag lately. It's been adapt and conquer. I think my whole entire life I've been forced to adapt to what's going on around me. I've been in a situation where I'm the only kid in a wheelchair growing up, or I had to do things differently just to make sure I did them well for myself, right? And so I've always had to adapt to a situation, but it's not just adapting to it, but it's about conquering it and doing the best you can. I actually taught 6th grade math for a couple of years before I just went into full-time coaching, and some kids hated fractions and some kids loved decimals, or vice versa. And what was really cool is that I helped these kids understand that you don't have to get to a certain answer in a specific way. There's a lot of ways to get to the same answer and still get the question correct. And as long as we understand that for ourselves, we're making ourselves better and stronger. And so I look at any situation in life like that, where if I have a practice opportunity or a chance to meet somebody new and make some new friends, or try really hard in school and work hard, I have a chance to adapt to what I've got in front of me and just conquer it as best as I can.
Great.
Awesome. Well, guys, you have been absolutely terrific. I can't thank you enough for joining me tonight. I don't know about you, but I got my sweat on in just those 12 minutes we worked out. That was pretty impressive. I think we did a good job. So keep up the good work. If you have any questions about movements or exercises, feel free to check me out on any of those social media tabs. My name's up there in the corner, Tom Miazga, right? I've got an Instagram, I've got a Facebook, I've got a Twitter, whatever you need me to do. I'm happy to help work some exercises out for you. And again, join us again on Saturday morning. It's going to be at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to come back together, talk about a lot of different movements and exercises that we are going through, and also give you some tips about how to get back in the pool safely when we can, okay? Francisco asked a good question. I love nutrition. I'm a health nut through and through. Best post-workout meal, get your proteins in. All right, Francisco, you need your proteins right away. Proteins will help build and repair your muscles from all the energy that's been depleted from them. All right, a great post-swimming meal that I love to do right as I'm getting out of the water is just drink a handheld chocolate milk. What's great about that is it's got a great source of protein, a great source of calcium to help your bone structure, and actually the sugars that are added in chocolate milk help kind of re-spark your system and get you going a little bit more energy to make sure you can get home in time to eat actual food. All right, so proteins and then getting some carbohydrates after you swim as well. Carbohydrates are what you build your energy off of. That's what your body uses to keep going throughout the day. So if you've worked out, you have the freedom to eat all the carbs you want. Especially as a swimmer, you can eat carbs galore. All right, so go at it. Make sure you're getting your energy up. All right, and protein and carbs all the way. A great source of carbs for me, I love eating rice. I love eating sweet potatoes. I love eating, wow, blanking. I have so many ideas in my head that I can't even tell you right now. But carbs, get them. They're good. Yes. Again, check out with the medical if you need any advice on any tips or anything. They are happy to help you in any facet. They're probably better off than I am. All right. Awesome. I got to get myself off of speaker mode here so I can see all your beautiful faces. All right. Cool. Thank you so much for letting me come on and give these guys a great workout once again and talk a little bit more about swimming, my true passion. I love it.